Hi everyone. In today's craft corner video, I thought I would try to make my roleplay roulette wheel. So this will be a little bit of a crafty video, and I've gathered some supplies. I've got fine grit, like engineering paper. You could use just a solid white paper, but I happen to have this and it helps you draw straight lines. I've got some cardboard, scissors, a single hole punch, a plate, a glue stick. You could also use white glue or double stick tape, but I'm going to try with the glue stick if it's not too dry already. Let's see, I've got some pliers, and just in case I need these, have a little wire cutter in this thing, and a ruler right here, and then I've got just an assortment of pens, markers, pencils. Not quite sure. I might need more things than this, but this is not fully planned out. I just sort of wanted to try and see what I could come up with without too much planning in advance. So the first thing is just to make a circle of paper, and you can use a compass if you have one. I have a small one somewhere, but I couldn't find it. So you can use a plate or a bowl, something that's the diameter that you want. And then just make a circle around it with a pen. You could use a marker for this if you wanted, but I didn't really want to get permanent marker on my plate, so I'll just use a pen. Alright, this is about 7 or so inch diameter. I think before I cut it out, I will, actually I might not even need to cut it out. I want to make the dividing lines, and I got a lot of role play suggestions from you guys, which thank you so much. That was fantastic. I haven't even counted them, but I think they're probably 20 or more. There's some duplicates. I'll just run through them real quick. First, we've got apartment rental agency, travel agent, librarian, wedding planner, catalog sales agent, Airbnb host, animal shelter consultant for pet adoption, sales catalog, cooking class, fabric salesperson, travel agent, catalogs, fabric and folding sounds, travel agent, librarian, interior design consultant, antiques appraiser, geography lessons, museum docent, rare book dealer, consultant, craft store, library worker, renting office space, cosmetics shop, cosmetics counter, and some others, bedtime stories, folding towels, folding fabric, which those aren't necessarily role plays, but they can be incorporated into role plays. So I just jotted all these down from my comments. Thank you all very much. So I think I will start by making the lines here, and that's why it helps to have this grid. I don't even know if you can see it, because it's very fine light blue. So this is an engineering pad, I think they call it. Quadrille pad, heavyweight, 20-pound leisure paper, precision ruled on 2 sides with light blue waterproof ink, 10 squares per inch. They have all kinds of sizes you can get, different squares per inch. Alright, so I think I'll do the lines in pencil first because I might goof up. The easiest way to find the halfway mark is to fold it, but I don't really want to get fold lines, so I think what I'll do is fold just the very edges. So I folded just a little pinch on the edges, and that will give me a halfway mark without making a big fold in the paper. Alright, so I've got my first fold, make my first line across. And I'll do the same thing the other way. Let's see, match up the 4 lines, match up the lines, circle, make a fold here and a fold here. Alright, so now I've got my other, you can also measure it, but I'm being a little bit lazy. Don't feel like measuring. So now I've got it divided into fourths. Then we have to divide each of these sections, and I could fold it again, but should I just eyeball it? Do you trust me to eyeball it? I don't know. I don't trust myself. Well, looks about right. Well, alright. I can't. I'm going to wreck it, so I'm going to match these up again. I think this will work. I'm not sure. So, one thing I like about crafting is you don't, I do tend to be, on the one hand, I tend to be a perfectionist. On the other hand, I like to just wing it too, so that's the nice thing about a compass, is you can measure it using angle. Alright, so I've got that line, it's not too bad. This one, maybe I'll just eyeball this one. Okay, doesn't really matter. The main thing, make sure you go through the center point. Alright, this is probably. So now I've got it divided into 8 pie shapes. So I'm going to do one more division, so then we'll get 16, I believe. These, I'm just going to eyeball these. What the heck? So that. And then we'll do this one. Oops. Okay, about like that. So it's fun to just play around sometimes, and you don't feel like you have to be perfect or do everything perfect. I can already see that I'm off. But this isn't for a job. It isn't to sell or anything. It's just for us to play with. Alright. So now I've got 16 sections. Definitely some are bigger than others, but who cares? So, now I want to write in the roleplay ideas on the wheel. So I'll just go down the list. We have apartment, rental agency. See? And we have a travel agent. And librarian. We have catalog. Got a lot of different catalogs. I think a lot of you said that you liked the catalog, sort of the customer service role plays that I've done, and I think I really like them because it combines the paper sounds and the page turning and with the role play, and maybe that's why you guys like it too. It's one of my favorite things to do. So I'll just put catalogs. Catalog sales. I'll just put that. Airbnb host. B&B host. That's an interesting one because I guess the host is the person that, is renting out their home or their apartment or whatever. So I have to think about what a role play would entail for that one, because I'm not sure yet. If you have any ideas, because I haven't used Airbnb. I've used something similar, HomeAway, or VRBO, but so there's probably something similar. Animals, pet. I'll just put pet adoption, at shelter. Okay. And then I've got cooking class. Cooking class. And I've got fabric salesperson. Fabric. I'll put fabric store sales person for that one. What else? Travel agent, we've already got that one. Catalog, we've got that one. There's another travel agent. Library, there's another library. Interior design consultant. Interior design consultant. That sounds like a cool one. I love watching those some of those role plays that people have done. Interior designer, interior decorating. Antiques Appraiser, that's an interesting one. I haven't seen too many of those. Antiques Appraiser. Alright, that will be totally pretend since I don't know anything about how to do that. Geography lesson. I like doing lessons. Those are always fun. Museum docent. Museum docent with a brochure. I'll put with brochure. Explaining brochure. Let's see. Museum docent showing brochure. Let's put that. Alright. I've got a rare book dealer. Rare book dealer. And now I got one that said consultant, and I don't know, there's so many kinds of consultant, and I'm not sure if you were the one that put that. Let me know if you're thinking of something, in particular, because that could be so many different things. I'm not sure about that one, what I would do. Let's see. Craft store. Did I get craft store? Craft store. Craft store. I'm guessing that would be like maybe a counter clerk or customer service. I'll just put craft store counter. I'll figure that out later. Library, we got that one. Renting office space, right? Renting and office space. Alright, I've got one more space. Cosmetics counter, alright. So, I didn't swear I did not count these, but I filled up all 16 there were a lot of the duplicates, and then there was the consultant, which I left out because I'm not quite sure. I'll just put that on with the others because I've got other things that people have suggested. I'll put that down here that I will do other times, like bedtime story, towel, folding towels or folding fabric. And any of the times that you guys just want to suggest something in general, I'll keep a list of those too. I know in the past I've asked for suggestions, but I never really recorded them anywhere or wrote them down, so I don't always remember them all. Anyway, I'll try to write them down from now. So let's start with these anyway, and got our little wheel. Now comes the tricky part. So I'm going to back this on a piece of cardboard, and I think what I'll do, rather than cutting out the circle, I might just cut to make it an even square. It really doesn't have to be a circle. Hope the scissor sounds aren't too loud. So now I've got the circle within the square, and what I decided to do is got some little screw, and which one was I going to use? I think I was going to use this one. Some little nuts and screws and washers and things to make a spinning wheel. So I have to I have to punch a hole in the paper in the center. But that's going to be a little bit hard. Let's see how I do that. Will that work? I don't know. Will that work to punch a hole there? I guess if I do a half a hole, maybe that'll work. I don't know. Well, that worked okay. So what I'm going to do is put the screw through that. Oops, I see the problem. I made the hole too big. Alright, I need a washer. Maybe that'll work. Alright, and so then, let's see. I think that is ready to glue down. I'm going to cut a little bit more off so I don't go right to the edge of the cardboard, just so it's a little easier to glue that way. So that's kind of fun to make this thing, which is sort of a silly idea. But since I like doing craft stuff anyway, it's a perfect. Got a little bit off there. And let's just for fun cut these off. Just for no real reason. Just cut the corners off. Alright. So I think what I'm going to do now is put some glue stick. I'm not forgetting anything. I'm going to put some glue stick around, especially around the edges and the corners. Those are most of the critical parts. It's good to have fresh glue sticks. When they start to get old, they get all kind of gummy, which isn't so great. So I did the edges and the corners, and I'm just going to fill in a little bit. The rest of it, but not solidly. If I was doing this like for really good quality work, then I might cover the whole thing with like white glue or something, so it would be totally flush. Alright, so now I will put this down. So basically I'm going to glue it, actually I don't really need the washer. Do I need the washer? I don't need the washer because the glue's gonna, I guess I do need to wash. The washer will hold the screw in place. Alright. You can tell this is like a remedial crafts. So now it's not totally straight, but not to worry. I'm gonna hold the screw in place, and I can see I've got some wrinkles here. Not sure exactly. I think it's because of the raised center section. So let's see if I can get it smoothed out a little bit. Okay. Well, it probably would have been good to have more glue underneath, but this isn't too bad considering all things considered. Let's smooth it out a bit more. Alright. So most of the air bubbles or air pockets are coming out little by little. I'm probably shaking the whole table. Alright. So now I've got the basics of my wheel. So you're probably wondering, well, what about the spinner? And so with the spinner, I don't have like a metal I don't have like a metal spinner, because if you had one like a clock hand or something, you could just use that. But I just thought I'd make one out of cardboard. So let's see. I want to make some just a straight piece. I'll use the edge of this since it's already straight. Try this freehand. So I've got a little strip, and then I want to point on the pointy side. That's going to point to the one that we want. Like that. And then I think this should be a little narrower, maybe. Make it a little bit narrower. Okay. Once you start cutting thin pieces, it's easier to start making more things more uneven. Alright, let me try that. That's not too bad. And let's see, just for fun, for a little color, do I have a marker? Well, let me do do a little bit of marker afterwards, but so I need the hole punch, so this is going to sit on there, so it should be in the center more or less. So I'll try to sort of just estimate the center there. Punch hole, this might be loud. I'll move it over here. Okay, it's a little harder to do than paper. Didn't go all the way through. I'll try it again. Here we go. Okay. Now to make this spin around, well, that works pretty well. I thought I'd have to put I could put a washer. I think that might work better. Put a washer, and then I'll put a nut on top, which I think, yeah, that works. So these are just resting here, the nut and the screws taped in. But this nut is a little bit large for this screw, so it's not really holding it in place. So if you do this at home, try to find a nut that matches the screw size, because then you can screw it down just enough so that you can spin freely, but it will hold it in place. So let's see, do I have another washer? I don't. We'll have to figure something out. Maybe I'll try to find a smaller nut, or I could put a little glue, maybe. That might work. Anyway, but for now, it works okay. So, just for fun, I thought I'd make the spinning wheel stand out a little bit. Maybe I'll outline it in red. How about that? I love these Sharpie markers. I think they're used around the world. But it's one of those trade names like Kleenex that everybody knows. Sharpie marker. A few years ago, I bought a set of 25 colors of Sharpie markers, and once I had it, I was like, why did I do that? What am I going to do with all those markers? Because I guess you can use them, some people use them for the coloring books. But if I'm going to do the coloring books, I usually use colored pencils rather than markers. Alright, so I'm trying to keep it not too thick, not too thin, just a little accent so you can see the wheel easily. So there is our little roulette wheel spinner. Now obviously this is not really a roulette wheel, because I just realized that those are the ones where the marbles go around and land in the numbers. So really this is I don't know what these are called. This is a spinning wheel. It's a spinning wheel. But I think you all got the idea. Alright, so I've got my little wheel, and I've got my nut on top. So I will have to write my title. On the top I will write Roleplay. I'm going to get this out of the way. Roleplay. Roulette. Now I have extra space, so I'm just going to write wheel, because I made the letters too small. Roleplay, roulette, wheel. Alright. And then I have extra space, so I will make a heart. 2 hearts. 2 hearts are better than 1. Alright. So there you have a little role play roulette wheel. Now, if I had really been thinking ahead, I would probably make something where I could exchange these and keep the wheel, but change out the role plays, because once I do all of them, if I ever get to all of them, if I want to do it again. But anyway, not gonna worry about that. So let's see, the screws, the nut is on top, and it's ready for a spin. I wish I could have one of you guys come over and spin it, but that's not gonna work. So I will make my first spin, and we'll see what my next role play will be. I better do it flat so that it doesn't, otherwise it will just go towards the bottom thanks to the gravity. I'll tilt it a little bit so you can see it. You ready? I'll give it a flick. It landed. Oh. Guess where it landed? I don't know if you can see that. It landed on librarian, which is kind of funny since that's my occupation. So, and also, some of you have asked about the library role plays I had several years ago, and I had to delete some of them. Anyway, so I know some of you have missed those, so this will give me a chance. Now, at that time, I was working in a library, and I had the key, so I was able to go in when we were closed and shoot those videos, of course, unbeknownst to my boss. So I did not want to get in trouble, get caught doing that, because that's a pretty bad infraction. So it was probably just as well that those have been taken down, just in case. So anyway, I can't get into a library to do these now, so I'll have to make do with doing something here at home. So that's it. Now you know my next role play will be the librarian, and I hope you enjoyed this little craft project, and I'll see you next time. Bye.